And can I say how epic and thugged out Thrawn's return was? He parked the ship on top of the temple like a G. I'm about to start calling my man Thronte. Nah, I'm single or whatever, them just my sisters. Speaking of, Filoni killed it with the Night Sisters. Definitely made sure that you knew they were creepy and a threat from the very beginning. So the main Night Sister, I can't remember her name, is played by Claudia Black, who's a sci-fi staple. She was in Farscape, Pitch Black, definitely some voice acting too, but she's a legend. Is it just me or does Shin look at everybody like she wants the smoke? I'm talking everybody. Because she definitely gave the Night Sisters the dirty looks too and was like, more witches. And Baylan Skoll mentioned that he's sensing some great power calling out to him. I'm guessing that it's probably Revan's tomb. That was my first guess. Maybe he's going to get Revan's mask, which would kind of help them keep the character around since Ray Stevenson's passed, rest in peace. But my homeboy Will presented the idea that maybe it was Darth Nihilus' mask. Now, I thought that was a bit of a stretch because you got to do Revan before you reference Darth Nihilus. But they are on this distant planet in the unknown regions with both Revan and Nihilus went to. Now, Revan, of course, as I said before, is probably the Jedi they were referring to with these fairy tales of these unknown regions. He was the first Jedi to go out there, as far as the records go, as far as I know. He's also famous for teetering between the light and dark side and extremes on both hands. Nicknamed Revan the Redeemed. Darth Nihilus definitely came after, but he pretty much followed in Revan's footsteps. And we've already got a bunch of Old Republic references already in this show. And of course that extends to the EU stuff. This is called the Ring of Sion, which is a reference to this dude, Darth Sion, who was dealing with the Night Sister just like Baylan Skoll is and is literally being held together by literally the Force and hatred. Jason Syndulla, who is obviously Force sensitive and on his way to become a Jedi like his father before him, is likely a reference to Jason Solo, somebody else from the old EU stuff. And then of course there was Starkiller Base. Well, we saw how that went. So I say all that to say that it looks like Baylan Skoll is trying to go down the same path that Revan and a few others like Nihilus and Anakin, for example, have gone before him, separating themselves from the Jedi and kind of stepping in a line in between harnessing the dark and light side of the Force. Speaking of masks and references, though, did you peep Enoch's mask, man? That shit is dope. But the first thing I thought of was my dude from Gladiator right here, because the mask definitely gives this kind of vibe in Greek aesthetic. Or Roman aesthetic. And because of all the stuff we saw with Merrick and all of the stuff we're seeing with the gold in the armor and the red bands, I think everybody's pretty much figured out that these guys are zombies just like Merrick was. And can I just mention that I'm pretty sure Ezra is going to flip out when Sabine tells him how she got there. So we'll be recording the podcast for episode 6 and 5 because we missed last week because, adulting, actually more accurately parenting. So check those out. They'll be on Spotify and YouTube tomorrow.